Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan, and I've got a pretty funny story to tell you today. So some of you, because I honestly could not keep this story to myself prior to making this episode. So some of you know this story. And at some point during this podcast, I'm going to recommend that you go over to our YouTube channel and you go to this specific spot and you watch what actually happened. We have a blooper video of it. And it is one of those just like moments of pure holy shit, but also complete laughter and like, this is what being human looks like. And earlier in life, I probably would have been embarrassed, ashamed, like, oh my gosh, that is so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the case anymore. Okay, let's get to the story. I was teaching one of our live classes. So we teach live classes Monday and Thursday mornings from 9 to 9:30. Mondays are typically either a 30-minute cardio class or a mix between cardio and strength. Thursday is 30 minutes of strength training. So we're in the Monday class and we decided to do cardio party, which is 30 minutes of cardio where we start off with a warm-up. We've got multiple intervals throughout the 30 minutes, and then we've got a cool down. So we get on the bike, we've got a few people there, and as I am pedaling, within like the first 10 minutes of class, the thought pops into my head as I am coaching and teaching and watching time and pedaling myself and doing all these things of, oh shoot, I need to add bike maintenance to my ClickUp. And ClickUp is the tool that I use for my productivity and time management. It helps keep all of those thoughts in my brain organized because I take them and I throw them in the system and then I put dates and I get shit done. So the thought pops into my mind about 10 minutes into this 30-minute class of, oh, Morgan, okay, put bike maintenance. It's been since March of 2021 or January of 2021 when I got my bike. So it's been a hot minute. And if I teach a cardio class once a week, 52 times multiple years, like it's had a decent amount. And that's only if I do one cycle class, which sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes I do multiple. So the thought pops into my head of, okay, do maintenance on the bike. Needs to happen. Like it's no longer a low priority. It needs to be urgent. Like I need to stop putting this off. So about 10 more minutes go by in class and I hear like a ping, something loud drop on the floor in my basement, which I have that like laminate click-in floor and it's great. I love it, but it's loud. When something drops, like you can hear it. So I'm biking away, teaching class, doing the thing, that sound happens and I'm like, my brain goes to, where the hell did that sound come from? I like do a weird look around. I'm like, I don't know. That's weird. Okay, we're going to keep going because we proceed as planned. Nothing else. Well, not long after, my left pedal starts to feel a little loose. And I'm like, shit. Okay. I'm like, we've only got 10 minutes left. We only have 10 minutes left. Fingers crossed, we'll all work out. Not even, I don't know, a minute later, it gets wobblier and the whole freaking pedal and shaft, I don't know the correct term, falls right off from the bike, hits the ground loud and falls and kind of like slides away from my bike. It doesn't just fall straight down. It like slides away from my bike. So here I am. Left leg just dropped. Like left leg has nothing happening. right leg is still moving because we were in a 30-second push interval where I was like, okay, we're going as fast or as hard as you can for 30 seconds. Then we're going to pull it back. So my right leg is moving really, really fast. And my thought is, okay, take your foot off the pedal. Well, if you've ever sat on a spin bike, your feet don't touch the ground like a real bicycle, like when you take your feet off the pedals. No, you are on a pedestal up high and your legs dangle like a little kid who can't reach the floor. So I'm sitting there. What feels like forever, when I look back at the video, it was like a second or two. But so I'm sitting there and my legs are dangling and I'm like, oh shit, this isn't going to work. So then, once again, left leg still dangling, nothing to connect it to. I have to put my right foot back on this pedal that is still moving really freaking fast, even though my foot's not pedaling it. But if you've ever spun a pedal, it just keeps going. I get my foot back on that pedal. I hit the emergency stop, or like the stop button in the middle, and I step on off. And we have a blooper video that we've inputted into our YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, you're already seeing it. If you are listening right now, pause listening and go to YouTube. We have also linked the YouTube in the show notes. So here, keep going, 8 seconds. Lost my pedal. You guys keep going. So this is the video. And there's all these things to it. It is hysterical. So fast forward, I get off the bike. I'm like half mortified, half like awkward of like, what the hell just happened? And I'm like, okay, guys, finish coaching the entire class as I'm like laughing. Because I'm like, what else am I supposed to do in this moment? Other than laugh that my pedal fell off my bike. And I was like, okay, guys, make sure to do your maintenance on your treadmills, ellipticals, all those things. And after class, I have such a great group of women that show up, and we all laughed about it. And then we went in to say, they're like, Morgan, we love when things like this happen and we are around for it because it shows you are human as well, and that you are perfect, and that you as a trainer still do not do their maintenance when they're supposed to. And I love that because they're 100% right. I am human. 98% of the time, everything I preach, I live. But there is about 2% out there where when I say do your bike maintenance, in my head, I'm thinking it's been 5 years. I need to do my own freaking bike maintenance. And so one of the lessons that I took from this that I wanted to share is when things like this happen and you are in a group of people, it is really easy to feel embarrassed, to feel mortified, to like laugh at yourself, to kind of brush it off, all of that. But the people around you will genuinely resonate with you, and they will feel comfort in knowing that like, hey, they're not perfect. Even though they seem like they've got their shit together, like we are not perfect. And it's really good with the way social media is out there. We are stuck in a perfection wheel of looking at all this stuff. And I wanted to talk about it for that reason of like, yes, like I am human and I don't take care of my bike like I'm supposed to. And then I started to think, well, I'm a little type A, if you guys haven't met me or picked up on that after all these episodes. But I'm like, oh, well, now I have to fix this bike. And I can probably use random tools that I have, but like I know I have a bag of tools that I have labeled bike and I've put them somewhere with the manual and all of that. But where have I put it? So I now have to think back to where I would have organized something 5 years ago if it hasn't moved, and now find the tools for that. So like just all these little bits and pieces that showed up. So that was the first lesson I took away from that is we are human and shit happens. And if you can laugh at yourself, it makes it better. Like when Amber pulled when she pulled like that little GIF clip that you see here, if you're watching on YouTube, it is hysterical. Like in my mind, this was like 10 minutes long. When you look at it, it was like 30 seconds. It was very short, but in my mind, this was like the whole end of class. And then trying to coach after that, like getting back into that mindset. The second thing I learned from this is just because something derails you in the moment, do not let it derail you for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the year, the rest of your life. People are going to say things. People are going to do things. You're going to say things. You're going to do things. Things are not going to go according to plan. And often, we let it derail us. We let ourselves kind of break down. We're like, oh my gosh. When really, acknowledge it and move on. There is a skill in being able to acknowledge something that happened that doesn't sit right. I'm not saying don't feel your feelings. Don't let time for there to be your time to feel those emotions. But in this situation, when I'm still freaking teaching class, I can't sit there and have a pity party about it with myself. No, I had to pick up, move on, and continue to teach the next 10 minutes in a way that I haven't taught a cardio class before. Standing next to my bike. Saying, okay, you're pushing now, you're pulling back. Like, I've never taught a cardio class that way. I've always participated with, so I can control the intensity a little bit differently. So the second lesson I learned is when shit hits the fan, move on. Move on. And if it's still weighing on you when you have time, then deal with it. Because sometimes we are standing up in front of a group and you trip. Add a little humor to it and then keep moving on. Don't let it become the whole situation. Little blips like that in your day, in your life, can lead into big blips, can lead into your entire life and not just these little moments. And really, if we can keep them as little moments, they're things we can look back at and we can laugh about, and they're hysterical. The third lesson I learned, maintenance. Taking care of your equipment is just as important as taking care of your body. I have been doing a great job of getting fantastic sleep, drinking my water, fueling my body with the things that I know it loves, and I can wake up and I can feel that. Taking care of how I move my body, adding in some variety when it's warmer. I love to get out and walk and run when the weather is warmer. I've been doing a great job at that, but one thing I sucked at was maintaining my bike. In my mind, it wasn't important, but I'm going to tell you what is important, that oil change in my car. So when we think about these things, for you may have no issue maintaining equipment. You may be like, Morgan, that's easy for me. I've got no issues there. Maybe you don't struggle with maintaining equipment, maintaining your car, maintaining the house. Maybe that's what comes easy, because for some reason that's mindless to you. That's easy. That's something that's just like there. That's a no-brainer. But when it comes to maintaining ourself, maintaining our body, maintaining our health, our exercise, our sleep, our stress management, when it comes to maintaining those and focusing on those, maybe that is where you struggle and you have a little bit of resistance and you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. Okay, well, we'll start at the first of the year. And we can't be doing that. We cannot be pushing it off. We cannot be pushing it off, nor can we be doing it for a little bit and then saying, oh, well, I did it now, so I'm good for another 5 years. That doesn't work. Clearly, as you just learned with the bike, just because you do something once does not mean you're good forever. Same thing goes with the oil in your car. Each one of us has a different car. I know for my car, it's been recommended that I need an oil change every 5,000 miles. Great. I am following that to a T, because you know what happens when you don't? This thing breaks, and then this thing. And yes, I'm using the word thing because I am not a mechanic. I have an expert in my life to help me with that because I don't know. Same thing goes if you run out of gas. Well, what happens if you run out of gas? Well, you get more gas. Well, what happens if you run out of gas too many times? That's not good for the car. What happens if your pipes back up in the house and the water starts filling your bathtub while you're showering? Kind of gross. Well, okay, I'll just pour some Drano down. Okay, but what's the real problem? There's probably hair in there that needs to be pulled out. Are we maintaining that? Are we maintaining the things in our life that matter to us? When we spend money on something, like a house, a car, a phone, a laptop, a bike, we tend to maintain it a little bit better than we maintain our own bodies. For me, I'm the opposite, at least in this situation. My bike, I didn't use it very much. I've used it more than I think. My body, I'm great at maintaining. I know what needs to be done. I know that when I fall off, in quotations, I can get right back on. I know exactly what to do, and I do it. Certain things when it comes to the house, the car, the bike, in particular in this situation, because this is the first one that's popped up recently that I've dropped the ball on. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to shame myself. I'm not going to punish myself. I'm going to laugh about it. I'm going to be a little annoyed that I waited this long, but it taught me something. It taught me 3 things that I shared with you today in this episode. So when life does throw a curveball and we are human and balls get dropped and things do not go according to plan, acknowledge it, laugh about it if you need to, and then make a plan so you can be successful next time. Like now, I fixed the bike. I now have added to my ClickUp on a yearly basis to do some sort of bike maintenance. It's what I've done. Easy peasy. It wasn't on the calendar, therefore it doesn't happen in my life. If it is not on the calendar or the task list, it does not happen. My brain just does not function without it because I've got so much going on, and I know I'm not the only one that feels that way, that has so many things happening, that their brain just cannot hold it all. Our brain is not meant to hold it all. That's why there are tools. That's why there's so many habit and tracking and accountability and systems books out there. Is we are all made differently. But we all need some system to get all of that clutter out of our head and onto paper in a way that we can manage, that we can move through life smoothly. So, if you learned anything from today's episode, I would love for you to do 2 things. I would love for you to go into however you're listening, whether you're listening to on YouTube, you're listening on Spotify, podcast, or wherever you're listening, and I would love for you to go leave a review for our podcast, as well as what you learned from this episode, because I think there's so many little nuggets that you probably could have taken away. The other thing I would love for you to do, and this is a bonus. So number 1, go leave a review, write what you liked from today's episode, give us 5 stars. The other thing that I want you to do is, if you listened, I want you to go to the show notes and I want you to click the YouTube for this specific episode and go watch that funny clip I was telling you. Like, I just need you to go watch it. We watched it on repeat. Listen, watch it without, just go watch it. I just need you to get a good laugh in here today. So with that, if you ever want support, if you want to talk about how maybe you feel like maintenance you are struggling with, you're like, Morgan, what you talked about today, I need some support, I need some help, send me an email at morgan@getfitwithme-morganekovich.com, or find me on Facebook and send me a Facebook message, whichever is easiest for you. Send me a message. Let's talk. Let's figure out where your sticking points are and get a plan in place so you can be successful and that life does not feel like the pedal falling off your bike day after day, hour after hour. Until next time, everybody, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to the EmpowerHer Wellness Podcast. I hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with actionable tips. Remember, your journey to becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself is just beginning. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode and join our community of empowered women. Until next time, stay strong and stay confident.